Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are still underneath Charlian, actually. Wait. Oh, that lamp isn't on at night. Makes sense, actually. But yeah, we went here under Charlian, which is pretty cool. But yeah, let's see what is going on here. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Let's go do that. Alrighty, here we are at the custodian. Let's see what he has to say. Greetings, we're here to peruse the Archeon's vaults. Peruse? You're clearly not gleaners, then might I ask your affiliation? You belong to the students of Bedessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Very sus. Not us then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time it will be too late, and we were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for the moment, shall we? Very sus. Students of Bedessian. We are at an impasse as we have no other leads. I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Let's do that. Righty, we have a worker here. What's that? Take you down on the lift with me. Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Let's go ask him then. Here we have another person. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeon, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Them. Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeon is open again. Okay, let's go. Righty, it looks like we already know this dude. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. That thing down there? It's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The Cloudkin I need to capture is close, very close. You wish to help me with this too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green and its cry a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with this sleeping dart. Okay. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit our right one. Oh no, what did he say? Search is running, so the hornbill. You may move the camera as well as zoom in. Oh. Do I have to look for the right one? Oh no. But didn't he say like the green one? That doesn't look like a hornbill though. Is that one? That one looks like a shoebill. Large green bird. Please be the right one. Is it the right? I hope so. Seems like it.
A fair shot.
Oh, nice. Okay, he seems happy.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations? So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
They have to go to lower levels.
It's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
See, that's... Ah, I was thinking ahead.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
That's literally what I said. I'm so good.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
We could just go in as cargo, no? Hide in a box, be sent down. It's gonna think of that now.
How do you feel about climbing?
Oh.
If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
Do they have a path
You're
like
quite
that?
welcome.
Not
But
secured.
consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Like, that is so dumb. Like, they have this huge plan, no one knows about anything and all that, and then they just have a shaft that doesn't even go anywhere. Like, or, like, goes literally where they don't want any people. But they don't control it. Or, like, check it.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Right. Guess we're gonna investigate the mine shaft. See you guys there. Alrighty, we made it to the mine shaft. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. It is faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed here, there by the researchers, you think. Well, savoring beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it so and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Let's go. Alrighty, we made it through the mine shaft. Let's see. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumption holds true that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Okay, let's do that. Alrighty, we made it here. Looks nice. Some grapes. Pumpkins. Now I know where we are. This is Mariel Agronomics. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees these efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It's possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations, worth looking into, wouldn't you say? I'm not sure, what are we gonna tell those people? Like, we're not supposed to be here, no? See what you can coax from the workers, the rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Seems like a bad idea, to be honest. Like, we're not supposed to be here. I don't think we should interact with people, but let me talk to them. Okay, so as expected, the people are also overworked, and we have to inspect some stacked boxes. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. And flowers. How pretty.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
What?
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Wait, but am I crazy, or does he kind of sound like our bird?
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true.
Actually, maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy.
This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will...
Whoops, sorry. I really wanted to hear more about those flowers.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Yeah, about flowers.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the forum's undertaking.
Would have thought.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryo?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him. Almost. I can almost reach you.
That's odd. Is Kara still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Of course not. The full report, warts and all. Erenville was headed westwards along the path outside the Archaeon. Come, we can still catch him. Let's go. Alrighty, here we are. I wanted to get an ether current and I accidentally died on my way, so yeah, that was quite a long way to get here. Hold a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logisticon Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control centers. It should have its own lifts with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Hibbity hop, my little toads. Goodness. Hey, we're little frogs. What about you two? Unaccustomed to transfiguration, worry not, it will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Anvil. Should you feel the magics fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where the creatures were hereabouts? In that form, you are essentially defenseless. You have changed into a toad. You must remain transfigured in order to progress with quest objectives. You will return from your transfigured status if you move too far away. Look to your map for the transfiguration's area of effect. Speak with Hydaelin to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Alright. Ribbit. Alfie Toad and Ellie Toad are now accompanying you. Meet them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Ah! I love it! And also the little dog. Oh my god, that's amazing. I can even jump higher. Oh my god. Wait, there's a fate. No. I'm loving this. This is amazing. This is probably the best thing that ever happened. Oh my god. Especially the huge chocobo, like, very subtle. Right? Not gonna stand out at all. Oh my god, can I play the whole game as a frog, please? I love this. Do I have to talk to them? Nah, I don't. Maybe. Maybe they will tell me something important. Ribbit. Avatar attempts and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he is telling you this is the wrong way. Oh, should we have gone up? Whoops. I'm loving this. Alright, but I'll see you guys when I found where I have to go. Okay, we made it somewhere. Oh my god, I'm in love with the toads. I'm enjoying this way too much.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
Do they get paid extra or do they get some time off?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Oh my god, are they gonna be like, you know, high houses and like rich people and everything? They can come here, be safe while everyone poor dies?
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the forum.
Why don't they just say you will get like a year off after this? Just free time for a year. Subtle. He knows. Oh my god.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
I mean, as if 3 frogs would just be sitting there, staring at 2 people talking, you know. I suppose you should have known a gleaner who specializes in armor procurement would not be so easily deceived, yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps, we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle, this momentous duty the forum agent mentioned. Charlian has been called to action and the Telophoroi's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charges it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. Well. A guide of sorts. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Yashola and Kral for the moment, see what they think of this. Let's go. Alrighty, we are back. Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then. Yes. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Krile, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Wasn't she the one who was like, oh, you should keep an eye on Krile, and then she doesn't look after her? Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so enchanted by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. Let's do that. Uh-oh, the flowers are not glowing anymore. Or I feel like they don't glow as bright. Maybe I'm wrong. Aren't they rare as hell? Why don't you just pluck them?
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead. Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, It has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest.
So now she just possesses people.
After Menphilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free, to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was, once I took hold of that wispy thread. Imagine my surprise to discover it was Hydaelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress. You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Well, we're not supposed to be here. We were told pretty clearly. Hello, Daddy Leveilleur.
Master Fortuneau? What business has the Forum with us?
Well,
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. and we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city.
To be fair, you know, I mean, obviously there's something shady going on, but to be fair, we knew we weren't supposed to be here. We knew that, you know, we were not here for the Students of Baldesion thing, right? So, I mean, fair, you know? I mean, like, imagine the FBI is doing something and then just some random ass people are like, you're not telling us the full truth. We want more information. Like, they would also be like, I'm sorry, but you can't be here. Like, you can't just break in and stuff.
As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Are we at Hogwarts?
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
I mean, I get it though. Like, there are certain rules. We didn't follow the rules. I don't know why we're surprised, you know? That's the risk you take when you know, don't follow the rules. That's always the risk you take. It's an interesting arrangement of tables and chairs. Is that a hearing for us? Is that the whole forum?
I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The Forum will come to order! This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldesion. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
Yeah, I don't get that part, but I mean, can they just... Whoa!
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Have you ever seen Crow without her hood on? Ponytail is something else. But, I mean, like, why don't they just say we have certain rules, they didn't follow the rules, they broke them? Ta-da. Like, that would be reason enough for me.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policy-making process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival.
To be fair, I mean, they are all just reading and stuff, right? I mean, they're just book smarts and everything. Like, can they even fight? And that's a big question. Like, what are they even good on a battlefield, right? I mean, do you really want some people on the battlefield just as pawns so they can die there? I think that's also weird.
Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
That's the thing, you can't force someone to fight. If they don't want to, they don't want to.
Zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, hmm? By their own admission, these Scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldesion are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
That's not that many.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed.
Oh, this many.
Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
I think that wasn't the worst judgment ever. But at least we've been allowed to remain in the city. And our endless investigations have not been in vain. We know now that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the Ethereal Sea. With our freedoms so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Sharlayan. That is true. But I see there is just one more quest to finish this quest line, so I think we should do it. This episode is gonna be a little bit longer. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may, is Hodder's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. Afino, Alisei, it is you. When I heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I am so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother? Oh, that's their mom. Damn. Emilian Sevier, at your service. And you fine people must be the scions of the 7th Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. She's just fine with her husband disowning his kids. Mother, please, we don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches Harder that you were here. Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fortunal are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Fankred's group and reconsider our options. Go visit your home. We will be back at the annex when you are ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure. Lura, what do you think? Go, enjoy. Lura? The Lura Arda? What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Oh no. But we must be quick about it, not for my own benefit, but should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. She's just fine with that. Laura, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. And then she was gone, and with her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Why didn't she invite everyone? Just me, because I'm the champion of Eorzea. Kind of weird. I apologize, my mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I'm relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Laura? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany us on our visit home? I mean, I have to, don't I? Fine, if we're going, then let's get it over with, but be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers. Thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away, childhood toys. I mean, never mind. The Leveilleur estate is that way, straight down the stairs. Come now. Okay, let's go. Alright, we're here at the estate. And here you are at last. Please do come in. Do you get something to eat?
Welcome home, my lady.
There are only 2 people living there. How many servants do 2 people need?
What? What are you gawping at?
As Leveilleur in all its grandeur, Scion headquarters must seem squalid indeed, just admiring the craftsmanship. I don't know. I don't really care. Already looked at the house before.
Oh, gods, please don't. It makes me feel like a spoiled princess.
You kinda are, though.
Lord Fourcheneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you would accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. 'Tis clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name. 'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
Let me guess, their presents are new clothes. Knew it.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect.
High heels.
Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
So she gets pink and he gets blue.
Clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you'd allow me, Master Alphino.
Oh, that's how he became a sage.
Wait. Are these...
a sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry. I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
Talk to the dad about that.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortunato has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
That was cute. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief for now. However, it will have to suffice, as will these tokens of home that we carry with us. These gifts to help us remember who we were and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Let's go. Righty, we're back in the Baldessian annex. Enjoyed your time with the Leveilleurs, I hope. I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we can help them to reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. Yo, but seriously, look at the carpet. It looks so fluffy. Like, it looks so good. I wanna lie on it. If that is not a soft carpet, I don't know what is. In the meantime, we edge over closer to the secret the Forums tries to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Hydaelin is sure to guide us going forward. You gave it to me. I'm confident that once you've scouted out the situation in Fafnir, we'll be well equipped to plot out our next move. Alrighty, but we're gonna do that in the next episode. Oh my gosh, that is... yeah, my preferred group, for sure. So yeah, let's hop into the story in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like if you like what you see, and obviously subscribe if you would like to see more. I try to upload every single day. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and bye bye!